Hey guys, hope you are doing well and welcome to day 17 of Sorority Stories, where I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into the sorority, what our plans are, and hopefully get you to join up. I hope you're having a great day. It really feels like summer here in Sydney, in Australia. We're in the southern hemisphere. Remember, we're backwards to most of you. Today is getting up to 30 degrees and I just had a hit of tennis, so I'm liking this. I'm much more of a summer person than a winter person. But on to the topic at hand, which today is going to be courses. Now, when I say that one of the cornerstones of what you'll get as a VIP sorority member is courses, what I mean specifically is online courses, and more specifically than that, ultra short and hyper-focused courses. So to give you an example, and by the way, if you want an example of this, make sure you have signed up at thepageantsorority.com for early access, because what you'll get as one of the bonuses is my 7 tips. So the very first course that I want our Pageant Sorority members to go through, not to stroke my ego, but just so that if they're not familiar with kind of the way I think, I wanted to give them that course so that they're kind of brought up to speed. Because I talk a lot about, as you would know, mindset versus psychology versus mechanics. So head to thepageantsorority.com, put in your email address, and you'll get access to that very first course, which I will be charging $97 for non-VIP members, but you can get that for free. And that will give you a really good insight into exactly what I mean by ultra short, hyper-focused courses, because none of us have loads of free time today, in this day and age, and I wanted to keep the courses super short and super accessible and super easy for you to use. So you'll see that course is about 40 minutes long. Our aim is going to be to keep all the courses somewhere between 30 minutes to 60 minutes, so you can absorb it on a workout or on a walk or on a run or on your commute into work. You're also going to be able to download them, because we're basing it on the YouTube platform. So you'll be able to download them. So if you are, let's say, traveling on an airplane and you don't have access to data, or you just don't have a lot of data on your phone and you want to download it on the Wi-Fi at home or at the coffee shop and then listen to it on the run, you can do that. And because it's also on YouTube, you'll be able to play it and listen to the audio. You don't have to watch it as well. So you have video and audio versions of it accessible to you. The reason behind doing the courses basically is to give you an unfair advantage. I'm pretty unabashed about saying one of the things I want to give our sorority members is an unfair advantage. Now, when I say unfair advantage, I don't mean like we're cheating. I just mean the information, some of the stuff that I know that has really helped my clients, from Miss Universe contestants to world to earth to international to grand and everything in between. I know that some of the stuff that I give my clients in one-on-one sessions is stuff that no one else is talking about, at least in the pageant space. And I know that not everyone, you may not need a one-on-one consult with me. You may not be able to afford a one-on-one consult with me. And I still want you to be able to take something away. So these courses are little tidbits and some of the sort of the common ground information that I tend to cover with all my clients. Obviously, it's not individualized and personalized to the same extent that an individual consult is, but it will still give you an incredible grounding and insight into understanding your mindset, your psychology, how to get confident in interview, how to overcome that dreaded imposter syndrome, or just understanding yourself in a way that you think you have this problem over here, but the real problem is a more fundamental psychological problem. And once we address and help you overcome that fundamental psychological problem, all the other ones seem to magically disappear or fix themselves. And it's not to say you won't need to work on it, but it's very often, for example, let's say if you keep getting sick, right? And we just treat the symptoms. So we just say, you've got a runny nose, you've got a cough, you've got itchy eyes, you're having trouble sleeping, you've got a fever. if we just treat those symptoms and never address the underlying cause, then you're going to keep getting those symptoms again and again and again and again. So what we want to do is address the underlying cause. And that's what these hyper-focused courses are going to be. It's not going to be, I didn't want to do a 5-hour or 10-hour or 2-week course on how to be a better pageant contestant 101, because it's just so generic. So, I mean, the most generic course you're going to get is that first one, which is 7 tips on how to be a better pageant competitor. So we're going to keep the courses ultra tight, ultra focused, easy for you to access anywhere. And the other benefit of keeping these courses ultra on point is that I'm going to be able to bring in guest lecturers or guest speakers for you. And I've already done that. I'm having Danielle Latimer record a course on pageant styling. And she is the best in the world, as far as I'm concerned, that I've seen anyway, in terms of styling. Like, she's just got a sixth sense when it comes to style. It's actually quite scary. And having Nadia Sayers, who's the current Miss Universe Ireland, shoot a course for you on mental health, because, you know, she's competed on the biggest pageant stage in the world, and her 9 to 5 is in mental health, and she works mental health all the time. So there are a lot of people who talk about mental health and they talk a good game, but Nadia has her master's degree and works this every day of her working life. So she knows this back to front. And over time, I'll be asking you VIP members, like, who do you want me to bring on? Because you might have certain people that you want to create a short course for you, and I'll be happy to reach out and try and get a collaboration with them. But people who can teach you how to walk, we could have specialists interview people come in, obviously stylists, makeup, you name it, we can do it. There's no limit to what we can achieve together. That sounds very, very idealistic. I don't know where that came from, but that's the idea. So the courses are going to be ultra short, ultra tight, hyper focused. We'll be bringing in guest experts in. You'll be able to access the training anywhere, and you'll be able to, don't mistake shortness for, oh, it's just going to be surface level. I guarantee you, I give you my word, you take a course of mine, yes, it might only be 30 to 60 minutes, but you are going to massively be able to upgrade your life. And I promise you, I'll give you at least 1 or 2 things that you've probably never heard anywhere else, or at the very least language it in a way that you go, oh, that makes sense. It's not just about, trying to give you 5 hours worth of courses. And I stick to what I know best, which is mindset, psychology. I like to think I'm very good at it, probably the best, if not the best, and certainly one of the best in the pageant space at least. But I also really dislike it when coaches tell you they're good at everything. For example, with Danielle, who I've already mentioned is just ridiculously good and gifted when it comes to styling. She was having a coaching session with someone else, I won't mention the name, but this coach immediately wanted to know what Danielle was wearing and her wardrobe. And Danielle had said, look, I don't want your help with styling. I want help with the other stuff. And yet this coach just immediately wanted to go into styling, wanted to know what she was wearing. It's like, you don't need, never trust a coach who tells you they're great or world-class at everything. No one is. And also, if they're jealous, like if they don't let you work with other coaches, I think that's really a big warning sign as well. Because I think you want to get the best help you can in each area. And I don't think one coach is going to be the best help in every area. I'm certainly not. I keep telling my private clients, please don't come to me for walking advice or wardrobe advice. Have you seen what I wear? Like, it should be obvious, right? But, I build a certain level of trust with them, and so they want my opinion. And look, I'm very grateful for that. But just to recap, so there'll be a library of courses, and I should say also it's going to be available on an app. I'm not going to disclose the app just yet, but the app itself is free to download. So it's going to be very easy to use on your mobile phone. I didn't want you to have to log into a website and then try and resize it on your little phone screen, and then, every time your phone switches off, you have to log back in. No. I wanted to make it super easy. So our VIP members, you'll log into this app. You'll be able to access these trainings on the app super, super easily. The courses, I should say, if you've downloaded the first one, the 7 tips video, you'll see, because it's based on YouTube technology, there's chapter markers, so you can very easily navigate to the chapter you want to listen to or watch if you don't want to watch the whole thing, or maybe you already watched the whole course and you just want to come back and get a refresher. Let's say the 7 tips video and you need a refresher on tip 4 and you don't want to have to go through the whole thing. So I just want to reiterate, these are going to be super short, super useful, hyper-focused. We'll have the guest speakers in, the guest lecturers in. It's going to be accessible on an app. The app itself will be free. It's not going to be an extra charge for our VIP members. And you'll be able to access it anywhere, everywhere, and make a real, tangible difference. Give you that real unfair advantage over anyone else who's not got access to this information. Because, I've talked about some of the things with Sorority in terms of making sure the industry is a better and fairer place. I've talked about wanting to have fun, having people come together, engage, having parties, building that professional network. And I mean all that. But whilst we're here, might as well win as well. Because why not? Right? I mean, you're here, you're obviously engaged if you listen to this video, watch this podcast, listen to this podcast episode. So whilst you're here, we might as well win, as far as we can control that in pageantry, right? So, whilst you're here, let's upgrade your life, upgrade your skills, make you a better pageant competitor, give you that unfair advantage, and maximize your chances of winning. That's what the courses are going to be about. And as I said, with our VIP members, it's going to be very, very interactive. I will be making a huge effort to create the courses that you want, not the courses that I think you want, not the courses that I think you should want, but the courses that you want. So, that's my plug over for today. As I said, it's very hot. I'm going to get out of this car before I start sweating profusely, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Have a good one.